now. Okay, we're back.
Okay, sorry about that. Storm came in and decided to cut out my internet. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. So, I had just been sent over to the library, right?
Yes, I made the joke that yeah, it was so convoluted, the pathway they sent you on, that you got lost and the call dropped because of that. You got lost in the call.
That's, you know what? That's pretty accurate. Yeah, no, because after the library, they sent me back to the tech center, and who sent me back to the welcome center, who again sent me to the engineering department, who then sent me back to the library again, who then sent me to the tech. 6 hours later,
God dang.
I arrive in front of the same goddamn desk with a new woman there who had apparently been out to a very late lunch. And, you know, at this point, I'm kind of annoyed. So I'm just talking to her, going, look, and she's asking me, what's wrong, sir? I'm like, I'm trying to change my major from this to this. Am I still there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so, sorry, power's flickering a little bit with me here, so I'm just not sure how strong my internet is. But, like, I'm trying to change my...
Shoot. They got him again. The call got
Yeah.
I think. Oh no.
5 minutes. It's like, okay, all set. Like, what? 5 minutes. Like, why was I running around everywhere? Apparently, according to her, the person she was talking to didn't understand what I was saying.
Lovely. Even
Now,
though
Shadow R Fox, I think you actually witnessed this. Like, I think, do you remember? I think you and I crossed paths, and I looked really annoyed and tired.
I mean, that was every day with us at that damn college.
Yeah, at goddamn university. But also, funny enough, after this, I was so pissed off, I went back to the library, and I'm not gonna lie, I was mad for obvious reasons. And you know how when you're mad, you'll sometimes push a door way too hard or something?
No, I wasn't there for this, but you told me about it, and I always wonder how you did that.
Yeah, I managed to. You remember the doors to goddamn university's library? They're like, how big were they? Like 8 feet tall, or?
I would say.
roughly how much taller were they than you?
No, they were about at least 2 feet taller than them.
Then about 8. Then about 8 feet probably.
So about 8 feet, and I was pissed off. They were like steel glass doors, and you know, I shoved them as hard as I could.
And they are electric. I should bring that up.
Yeah.
They automatically open for you, or they're supposed to.
Yeah, and I actually knocked them off their hinges. Like, when I came back out the library, they were fixing them because I stopped, I calmed down a bit. I was like, what happened here? I'm like, I don't know, someone broke the metal hinges on the doors. I'm like, oh. Because I heard a loud metal scraping sound when I went through them, but, you know, I was too pissed off to stop and give a shit. So I just kept going. I'm like, oh, that might have been it. Whoops. So, yeah. And this is why I'm not giving my name, because they don't ever need to know that it was me.
Yeah.
Ever. Because, goddamn university was pretty vindictive. I could see them coming back for that. Especially considering I broke 2 candy machines when I was there. Hey, in my defense, they took my $1, and I really wanted that last Kit Kat bar. That's a good reason, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, I had no choice, right?
No, that's justified. In my mind.
Exactly. Okay, so unfortunately that wasn't the only time I had to do a whole lot of wading through it. So the next thing I had was my computer lab problem. So this was when I took a Introduction to C++ course, and it was fairly basic. I just had to do the course, and it was homework assignments, take the test, blah blah blah. So I do the course, and you know, after I need to give a little bit of geography here. The computer lab where I did the class was literally right next to the computer lab where I do my homework. So I want to make it clear, they were right next to each other. I went into the computer lab during class, logged in with my password and everything, had no problem whatsoever, right? I want to make that very clear. There was no problem whatsoever. That's clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, it's still like the first week or two of college, when you're still going, you know what, I'm going to finish my homework early and be a good student, before life comes down and crashes your entire optimism down to the ground.
And then it's like, I can wait until like 2 hours before this is due.
Exactly, that stupid naivety.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I go into the computer lab to do my homework, and I sit down at a computer, which again, right next to the computer lab that I just did the class in. I type in my password, doesn't work. Like, okay, so I try again, doesn't work. I move to another computer, doesn't work. I try one more computer, still doesn't work. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So I didn't know what else to do, so you know what? I turn off, I reset my password. I go and reset my password, which you have to wait 30 minutes after you reset your password for it to take effect. So I do that. I come back in 30 minutes.
Wait, what system makes you wait 30 minutes before?
Yeah, I don't think it forces you wait. I think it's only supposed to be 5 minutes.
Look, the people at the IT department said I had to wait 30 minutes.
No, that's full of shit.
I don't know.
Okay, well then they're full of shit. Any
well,
system
IT
I've ever used
department in goddamn university is full of shit. What do you want from me?
I wanted you to use your head and not listen to them.
I still thought that goddamn university was a nice university. Clearly, I wasn't good at using my head yet.
You poor fool.
I'm aware. I said optimism before reality kicked in. So, anyway, just out of curiosity, can you hear the lightning in the background?
Yeah, but then again, I also hear lightning outside my own window.
I also
so.
hear it outside my own. It doesn't matter. It's going to be everywhere.
There you go. Okay, so, anyway. So, I wait 30 minutes, I go back to the computer lab, and I type in my password again.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work. It's like, are you bloody kidding me? I try another computer. It still doesn't work. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So I go up to, they've got a tech there who's in charge of the computer lab, and I ask him for help. He can't think of anything to do except to reset my password. It's like, son of a bitch. So I wait 30 minutes, and I come back again. Guess what? It still doesn't work. So they don't know what to do. So the only thing they can think of to do is like, okay, you know what? We're going to send you to the Welcome Center. Maybe they can help. The Welcome Center can't figure out what to do, so they send me to the Tech Department. The Tech Department can't figure out what to do, so they send me to the IT Department. The IT Department sends me back
wait. The Tech and the IT are two different departments?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, do you remember that small building that's the Technology Annex? That's the Electrical Power Technology Annex building. It's a different system.
Okay, they sent you that building. Okay, I know what
you're
talking
it's
about.
a Technology Annex. That was where my major was. That's why they sent me there.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's why the IT building was that small circular building in the center. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, they sent me there. Who then sent me back to the Welcome Center again. 4 hours later, I get back to the technology department and wind up in front of the desk of someone who, again, just got back from a late lunch. And I tell her my problem. And she's like, okay, hold on a second. Let me see what I can do. And she looks up and is like, oh, I found the problem. I'm like, what is it? You're not a student here.
I'm so done.
I'm sorry. What? You're not a student here, sir. What do you mean I'm not a student? Well, according to this, you're faculty and staff.
Well, I want my paycheck.
Actually, that was my next thing. I'm like, am I getting paid? No, sir. Then how am I faculty and staff? Like, well, you're signed up as faculty and staff. But I'm signed up for courses. Yes. But I'm not a student. No. Okay, do you not see how those two don't correspond together? It's like, yeah, that is a bit odd, sir. Well, can you make it so I'm not faculty and staff? No, you see, it's a new system we're working on, and it's still a little buggy, so we can't really change this for at least a month or two. I'm just, well, what am I supposed to do here? It's like, okay, hold on. So, in the end, all they could do was basically give me faculty and staff assignments so that I could do all my coursework and be logged on essentially as faculty and staff. And like they said it would take a month to fix. It took them the entire year.
No, that sounds right.
That sounds about right.
To give context, they also made a friend of mine a professor at that university, and he realized when he realized he had faculty, not just faculty access but professor access, he made his own course at that university and called it Comic Book History 101. Enrolled me in the course, and they did not catch on until the time of his first paycheck. They didn't recognize the person on the pay stub. That's the only reason they caught it.
Well done.
I don't know if you all been realizing this. I told Zed this. I've been naming all my children after things I find in my room. So, like the last couple children, I named trash can, keyboard, monitor, mouse, speakers, external hard drive, and pain pills.
And wait, Isabel, wait, is there a girl in your room we don't know about? Oh.
No, he hadn't renamed
DVD. I'm going to have some of the strangest names when I take over. I'm going to be like, who the hell are DVD?
Wow, it's gonna be like
You're gonna look at all these names and go, "What was I doing?"
So essentially, you're creating into Hollywood.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And of course he refused to see the good word of the degenerates. And
So he deserves to be locked up.
well, now
there.
yeah, he's definitely being locked up. He's losing his land. Okay, yep, there we go. Let's take that away from him. Oh, and let's torture him for not hearing the good word.
Sounds good.
How did we? Oh, that's how we torture him. We put a rat on him, on his chest, and put a bucket with a rat in it on his chest. Perfect. It had to
Jesus.
be done. It had to be done.
Oh, of course, naturally. I mean, at least you're being humane about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not
To the
being.
rat.
I'm not being vindictive. If I was being vindictive, I would kidnap his wife as well. I may just
There
do
you
that for
go.
kicks and giggles.
I mean, okay, so just for shits and giggles.
Oh, you refused. Demand conversion.
I mean, they've got to convert. The flying spaghetti monster does not take any disloyalty.
Oh well,
He
look.
demands.
Look what we have here. Someone else refused to convert. When will they hear the good word? Oh, another name. What am I going to name this? There we go.
Oh, God. Oh, those poor kids.
Wait, you have a mirror in your room?
Yes.
Why?
Giant mirror. It's just always been there.
Oh,
Okay.
I was gonna say I thought you were using it to try to bounce off sunlight and use it as some kind of death ray.
No. It's just I have a mirror in my room. It's been there since since forever. I think because I got the furniture from my grandmother.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Anyway, going on. So, so officially I was faculty and staff for a year, which, no, I did not get a paycheck, which pissed me off. But I did, because of that, I accidentally got a parking pass for faculty and staff, and I got to park in the faculty parking lot, and I did that for an entire year. Which, was actually a lot of fun, because every time, like, a faculty member caught me parking in the parking lot, they're like, hey, you can't park here. I'm like, read the ticket. Faculty and staff. I can park wherever the hell I want. Okay.
There you go.
I went through 4 hours of my life. I get to park wherever the hell I want. Right? That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, I got to do my homework. I did the computer stuff, but the computer class mostly went smoothly. But I did get a fun issue with the computer final. So, my bloody final, per computer final, the final was basically to write out a computer program. We had 2 hours to do it. Well, I think that's standard. Shadow R. Fox, you did more of the computer programming than I did. Is that a standard programming test?
How long was it?
I had 2 hours to write a computer program.
What type of class was that? I never had to write a computer program for one of my tests. And I majored
Wait,
in computer
You
programming.
were a computer engineer? How is that possible?
I did projects that I had to write a program, but I never had to just, they sat me down and, put me in front of a computer lab and say, write code to do X, Y, and Z. That's your
No,
test. I would prefer tests
that was
like
my
that.
final.
That would have been easy.
That was my 2-hour final in C++.
No,
Wait,
I
did
would.
you not take C++?
No, I did C++. That was that was the only computer science class where they actually taught me proper programming.
Well, then what the hell? Why did I get that final and you didn't?
What they did for me, my final was a written course, a written class. I did have to do a computer lab, but I think for the computer lab, did I? No, I didn't even have to do a computer lab. I did the computer lab, but they didn't give a final. I think. Then again, who taught your computer? Because I remember that course was broken up into 2 parts: lecture with the professor and lab work with the TAs.
Oh, see, mine was all one thing. The guy who lectured also did the lab work.
Do you do it during the summer?
No, I did it during the semester.
Was the guy who did the lab work the professor? Was it at 2 separate times? The lab and the class?
No, he combined into one. He combined into one class, so it was longer, but we got to learn more.
Oh, we did. It was essentially kind of 2 separate classes. Like we would do the lecture 1 hour, and then the next hour we would be in the computer lab.
No, ours was all the same. Like the lecture took place in the computer lab.
No, the lecture took place with the professor in the professor's classroom, and then we did a lab with a teaching assistant.
Huh. I wonder who got the better deal in this one.
I think I did, because clearly I didn't have to write a damn program for my final.
Yeah, good point. Well, believe it or not, you know me, I'm not much of a computer programmer, but believe it or not, the program was actually going pretty well. And, it's a final, so I'm saving
What were they having you write the code for? What was the actual program?
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I don't remember. I know it had something to do with a for loop, but I don't remember what it was for.
Hopefully it wasn't something big like trying to make a blockbuster inventory or something like that.
Oh, no. It was something fairly simple, but something that, you had to be careful on because, you get one comma or something off, it changes the whole damn program.
Okay, so they were asking you, like, make a loop to do X, Y, and Z or something like that.
Pretty much. Like, there were more steps. You had to have the loop call certain programs or call files.
A function.
Yeah, do that. There were certain functions.
Because I can't see them making you do a program that would make you call a file, because they didn't even teach that in the introduction to C++. For me, at least.
Oh, really? That was like one of the first things they taught us.
Calling a file, like literally making the program access a file. We didn't learn that till like the last couple. I mean, we learned that like middle of the semester, like opening a text file and writing to the text file and then closing it.
Yeah, no, that was like the first 2 weeks.
Really, writing to and closing a text file? Because that's easy to screw up.
Well, yeah, that's what he said.
Okay. No, we learned that. It's just we actually learned the first week. We learned what a variable was, what a function. We learned all the terminology and the structure of the syntax of the computer language itself of C++. So
yeah, we did that too. But like, text files were in there too.
So wow, and they did a good job of explaining how you got to make a certain size for each variable, so that way it can contain the length of the text file that you're pulling the data from, as well as when you're writing it too. You gotta remember to close the file after you run the program. Otherwise, if the file is still open, that's how you get very bad bugs and viruses going on. That's how people make exploits to their programs, is they leave files open.
Am I bringing up some school trauma?
Well, no, it's the fact that they making. I don't know. For me, they waited to teach that, and
no, that was like one of the first things taught us. And no, they taught us very well. Like, we actually did fairly well at doing that. Well, at least I did. I mean, I understood it.
Maybe you did get the better course. I had to learn from a teaching assistant.
Oh no, the professor actually. My professor was really on ball. Like, he was a nice professor.
It was a male professor.
Yeah, male professor.
I had female.
Oh. Maybe we should stop commenting there. We might
Well,
get...
no. She was a good professor, but then
No,
again, I
no,
had
no.
a teaching assistant. I had a teaching assistant for my actual lab
Yeah,
who taught the
that's
actual
odd. We did
programming,
not. He
and
did
the lab
both.
was at different times than the actual class itself.
To be fair, now that I think about it, my teacher, that was his first semester there.
Okay, that's okay. That make more sense because I know most of the professors. I remember most of the professors who taught the introduction in C++, and I wasn't recalling too many male professors.
Yeah, so now that I remember it, that was his first semester there. So that
Okay.
maybe that was. But anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so I'm doing my final, right? And you know it's a final, so I'm like saving. I'm saving every 5 seconds, and I'm saving like crazy. And literally an hour into my final, everything's working great. The program's actually working. There's no mistakes. I'm like, it's going good. It's going good. And then halfway through, my computer shuts down and deletes my final.
That's a
I
big
wanna say-
crash.
Huh?
That's a big crash for it to.
Yeah, no, it deleted my final.
Because
Like,
if you're saving
nothing.
things, they should have kept all of that stuff.
Yeah, no, none of it was. It didn't save anything. Like, it deleted all of it. Completely deleted it. And get this, there were 42 goddamn computers in that testing room. I picked the one that was faulty. There was one faulty computer in a room full of 42 goddamn computers, and I managed to pick it.
Yep.
So then I had to spend 30 minutes convincing my teacher that, hey, the computer screwed up. It wasn't me. I had been saving like crazy. And well, thankfully, the guy next to me had been with me the whole class, and he actually saw me saving, and he actually vouched, like, he and like one other kid vouched for me, saying, no, I saw him. He was hitting, you know, I saw his screen a few times. He was clicking that save button. Like, he was saving like crazy, so that doesn't make any sense. So, and then he actually tried writing up like he didn't fully believe them, so he went in and he typed a little bit of code and saved it, and basically, I guess restarted the computer, and when he restarted it, it hadn't saved that either, even though it saved it. So it's like, oh, okay,
Because
so the computer is actually faulty.
with those computers, if I recall, you log in with your damn university account,
Yeah,
and
my
it's
faculty and staff account at the time.
yeah, and it's supposed to save the information to that profile, and then it's supposed to stay out there for your profile
Correct.
when you access it from another computer.
That is correct, and
So the profile
not
wasn't
do
saving.
any of it.
Yeah, the profile
No.
wasn't saving. That's a virtual yeah, that's a because I'm assuming they're using virtual system. That would be a virtual system error where it's not saving that. If it's localized to one machine, yeah, then that one machine got a faulty profile for all of its profiles.
Right?
I deal with a lot. My job actually, I have to help university deal with the shit sometime, and I've had student called in and they had the same problem you did, where they was working in the software and their computer, or they closed or log out of the account, logged back in to the computer lab computer, and now the assignment is gone. And I'm like, well, I can't really help you. I can help you with the software, but that's something you need to call your IT lab for, because I don't have enough power or control over your IT labs to fix that.
Yeah, I know, but no, it's paid. So, but it took me 30 minutes, and like after 30 minutes gone by, you know, he was convinced, and he let me retake my final. So he just told me, okay, sit here, start redoing your final, and look, when you finish it, just email me. Just email me your final. I'm like, okay, fine. Because what was supposed to happen, you know, once we were done with the final, we were supposed to load it onto a server, and then it would be all collected. But obviously, I couldn't really do that because the server had a time limit on it, you know, to make sure people didn't time out or something. So that's what he let me do, and I sat back down and I had to start all over again. And you know, at that point my momentum was kind of killed, because you know, you go on, you're doing well, and then suddenly you just got to stop, break your momentum, and then I literally had to spend all that time explaining, hey, my computer fucked up. And it's just like, God damn it. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I told a few people about what happened that day, and a lot of them just like looked at me and said, "Oh my God, I would have cried if that happened." Like, yeah, well, crying wouldn't have helped anything. I'd still have to do the bloody final. Out of curiosity, what would you have done? What would you guys have done?
I would just kept doing it because, again, that's my majors, so I gotta pass those courses.
Yeah, I mean, Zed, could you do anything else then?
No, I would have done the same thing.
Right? I mean, there was nothing else to do. And that wasn't the only problem I had with tests. That same bloody semester, like the next day, actually, now that I think about it, I then had, I think, some math final that I was doing, or no, actually, I think it was something to do with Transformers, but whatever. I was taking a final, and you know, again, going decently well, and again, my momentum was disrupted. Guess, want to take a guess by what? This wasn't a computer final. This was a handwritten, pencil to paper final.
What?
This time, so one of the students got up and he was walking out to leave, and I was sitting to the table closest to the door, because, you know, as soon as I was done with that final, I was getting the hell out of there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He walks by me, and then suddenly he staggers, looks faint, closes his eyes, and he falls and slams his head into the wall.
On purpose, or did he actually pass out?
Well, he passed out after slamming his head into the wall, I can tell you that. But he recovered real quickly, and, you know, me and everybody else are going, "Oh my God, are you okay?" We're rushing over to him. And the paramedics are called in and everything, which, again, completely disrupted my entire flow. But, you know, I'm not going to say anything because I felt bad for the guy. I found out, though, a few days later, he was faking it. As it turned out, he had been caught cheating by our professor,
Okay.
and our professor was going to turn him in. So this kid's brilliant plan was to fake passing out in order to get sympathy for being caught cheating. Comment?
I mean,
No.
Which... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm like, there's dumber ways to try to get out of a test.
You get out... Do you mean to get out cheating?
I mean, get out cheating, yeah.
I know, but that does make sense now because I didn't think about it until afterwards, but, like, when he was on the ground, like, you know, waiting for the paramedics, the professor actually walked over him and said... It got close to him and said, "This doesn't change anything." And, you know, at the time, I didn't really think about that.
And then he got magically better.
That makes sense. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. I'm like, dude, I mean, look, I get it. You were caught cheating. That sucks. But do you really have to fuck up my test because you're an asshole?
Yes.
I mean, seriously? Isn't that kind of shitty?
That sounds
What country
about right.
do we live in?
I mean, yeah,
I
you're,
know.
you're in a country where it was look what we had to go through to get people put on masks, not only for their own safety but for the safety of others.
No comment.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and honestly, I had you, like Shadow R Fox. You know me. I'm bad at tests. I've, you know, I'm not good with tests to begin with. Like, but that was still pretty crappy. And okay, since I have actually been timing this thing,
Yeah, no, we
a-
were past. This is like 35 minutes now, I think.
Yeah, well, that's in addition to the other one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's total.
So I will end it with this one last story, just because it does relate to tests. Just to show you how bad luck I have with tests. Is I took a renewable energy course in college, right? And the first test we had basically 4 subjects that we went over. I don't remember. Well, I do remember all 4 subjects, but the point I want to draw to is we had 2 particular subjects. There were going to be 3 subjects on the exam that we'd have to talk about. Well, that we'd have to write about. And there was one of the 2 subjects was going to emerge. One was on heat engines. The other was on a type of water fluidity problem. Now, understand something. We spent over a week studying heat engines. We got 4 homework assignments on heat engines, which is more than any other one. So, by that logic, wouldn't you expect heat engines to be on the goddamn exam? Especially considering the water thing, we only did one class in.
I'm assuming it was all the water thing and no heat engines.
It was no heat engine. It was all the goddamn water thing. And it was 25% of the grade.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Just like, are you bloody kidding me? Because I know heat engines. I knew heat engines cold. Like, I have the math down. I have the formula. I knew it cold. And was it on the exam? No. I'm just like, are you bloody kidding me? I mean, again, my luck cannot be this bad. It is statistically not possible that my luck is this bad. Right?
I would hope.
But it is.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be, I guess technically we should call this part 1B of my college story, since we had that little split up because of my internet going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So continue it with next time in part 2 of college stories. Anything you guys want to add, or any advice to maybe change my luck?
Oh, change your luck? Oh, there's no way in hell I can fix that.
Yeah, if I could change luck, I would. I mean, I would have a girlfriend right now. So.
We all would. Okay, so that's it for Archimage College Stories Part 1B. Coming next time for Part 2, where I discuss, well, mostly how to piss off teachers.
And
Everybody can use a lesson in that, right?
Oh, that's simple. Just talk during class. They'll all get pissed
Well,
off.
you don't even need to do that. Make them actually do their job. They get annoyed as hell at that.
Exactly.
Okay.
But believe it or not, there are other ways to piss them off.
Okay. Find out next time on. I cannot remember the name of this of this video title.
Find out next time on what the hell kind of life is this for anybody to lead the Archimage stories.
There we go.
I've got it written down.